How do you balance crazy business ideas with imposter? Oh, like when you have a really good idea and you're like, but I'm not good enough to do that. You would not be given the idea from source, from universe, whatever you believe in. You would not be given that inspired idea if you weren't meant to have it. If you have the thought of, I really want to achieve this, or I really want to do this, you would not be meant to do that thing if you didn't have the thought to do it. So the fact that you are thinking about it, the fact that you feel good about it, and that you're wanting to lean towards it, if you feel really good about it, then that is inspiration enough for you to move forward, and you can work through those feelings as they go. How did you get over not feeling confident when showing up for your business? I just did it, even when I didn't feel confident. So even when I didn't feel confident, I just showed up and said what I needed to say. I didn't make it about me. I was like, okay, let's remove the fact that this is about me. You could be having experience of rejection and failure. So I would dig deep into those beliefs that you have about being rejected, beliefs you have about failing. What do you think is going to happen when you show up? What's the fear behind showing up for you? Because it's not just not feeling confident. There is a fear behind it in terms of, if I show up, then this happens. But it definitely was a work in progress. If you were to scroll down on my IGTV, you would see really old videos of me talking to the camera, and they're so embarrassing, but like, I just showed up regardless, and it's a skill. It's a skill that you acquire over time, for sure. So not feeling confident, it's probably some deep-rooted story that told you that you weren't good enough when you showed up, that you shouldn't use your voice. When you tried to speak up, somebody told you not to, etc. And that's where the fear is coming from. I never shy away from the fact that like I struggle too. When it comes to having a 6-figure business, like I know that I am always hitting up against things that are going to affect me. And as long as I just work through them, then I'm going to feel better because I'm working through those things as they come up, and then I don't self-sabotage eventually. You know what I mean? The fear that's there is very primal. It's very like, we are conditioned and programmed to avoid danger and to avoid risk. But when it comes to the online space, it's more fear of rejection and fear of failure. And the reason why you feel like a fraud is because you're afraid to show up in a very powerful way, because you're afraid if you do, somebody is going to be like, you don't know what you're talking about, or someone's going to call you out or whatever. And that comes from deep-rooted stories that were either developed in childhood or developed when you were young or whatever, that are now contributing to the conversation that you have with yourself, because you're connecting some dots that, like, if I show up on my stories and I say something stupid, or I look stupid or whatever, which is your own interpretation, obviously, then this is going to happen. And that's what's happening for you in terms of the connection points. So it would be really helpful for you to dig deep into those stories, because each time you do and you unlock another layer of your subconscious, you're able to understand where things are coming from.